Under the pale sky of the Ural Mountains, the world lies frozen, silent, endless, untouched. A single line of footprints cuts across the snow, then stops. No return path, no struggle, just emptiness swallowed by wind. In February 1959, 9 young hikers set out toward Mount Otterton, the Mountain of the Dead. As the local Mansi called it, they were strong, smiling, full of confidence. Then their voices disappeared into static. Days passed, then weeks. When rescuers finally reached the pass, they found the tent half buried, torn open from the inside. Inside were Boots' food journals, untouched, waiting. Outside, the snow was marked by bare footprints leading into the dark. It was -30, no one could survive long. Yet something had driven them to flee, something unseen, unspoken. Among the frozen remains, a single diary page survived. "The night is calm, we feel strong." That was the last thing they ever wrote. Since that night, this place has carried one name, the Dyatlov Pass, and the mystery it keeps has never melted away. Morning frost glimmered on their tents as laughter echoed across the valley. Igor Dyatlov, the leader, checked the map, calm, precise, certain. Around him, his friends packed gear, teased one another, and sang quietly as they began their climb. They were students, engineers, dreamers, children of a country that believed nothing was impossible. Through endless white, they pulled sleds, crossed frozen rivers, and wrote jokes in their diaries. Zina made pancakes again. One note read, "They taste like victory." Another added, "The wind is cruel, but we are stronger." In photographs, their faces glow not with fear but pride. They believed the mountain would test them, not take them.
We'll see you soon.
At night, the group huddled close around a small fire. The snow hissed softly as sparks disappeared into the dark. Someone played a tune on a mandolin, and for a moment the cold seemed far away. They joked about the storm forecasted for the next day. No one cared, they were young, unstoppable. A final photo shows them smiling, the world of ice behind them, the summit not far ahead. Then the lens catches something else, a faint streak of light across the night sky, blurred, almost hidden. The camera clicks, and everything freezes in that instant. The last picture ever taken. The wind changed that night. It no longer sang, it whispered. Snow swept across the slope in uneven waves, hissing against the tent walls like something alive. Inside, flashlights flickered. Someone joked about the storm.
Feels different tonight.
But the laughter felt forced. Their diaries from that day grew shorter, words fewer, as if the cold itself began to write for them. Zina recorded, "We can't see the sun, the wind is strong, feels different." Another wrote, "Strange sounds above the ridge, maybe the sky." No one answered. When they pitched camp on Khalat Siek, the mountain of the dead, they were supposed to return the next day. Instead, the temperature dropped and a dense fog rolled in. That evening, a faint hum echoed through the air, low and metallic, vibrating in their chests. Yuri Krivonishenko held up the radio, only static. Then a flash, brief, silent, far away beyond the ridge. The group gathered outside, staring at the sky as the wind howled louder, pushing snow like ghosts around them. Igor decided to stay calm, to rest until morning. They crawled back into the tent, the fabric shivering with every gust. Someone whispered, "It feels like the mountain is listening." No one spoke after that. Only the wind remained cold, watching, waiting. The storm came without warning. One moment silence, the next a roar tearing through the mountains like an animal unchained. The tent shook violently, snow pressing down its sides. Inside, flashlights flared and shadows twisted across pale faces. Igor shouted something no one could hear over the wind. The air was so cold it cut the breath from their throats. Then came a sound, not thunder, not wind. A deep metallic pulse rolled across the valley, steady, unnatural, as if the sky itself was groaning. The group froze. Krivonishenko looked toward the tent, flap eyes wide. "Did you hear that?" he mouthed. Before anyone could respond, the light outside changed, a faint orange glow shifting like fire beneath the snow. Zina screamed. The sound was swallowed instantly. They unzipped the entrance, but snow burst in like smoke. Visibility none. Temperature lethal. Something or someone was moving outside. The fabric bulged inward as though pressed by invisible hands. A knife flashed. From inside, the tent was sliced open. And then they ran, barefoot, half-dressed, blind in the storm. Their lungs burned as they stumbled through knee-deep snow, the wind clawing at their skin. Behind them, the glow vanished, only darkness remained. Igor tried to count them, 9 shadows scattering into white nothingness. Someone called a name once, twice, then silence. A body fell, another turned back. No one knew where the others were. Down the slope, a few found the tree line. They huddled beneath a cedar, hands shaking as they tried to light a fire. Frostbite had already taken their fingers, yet they laughed, nervous, broken laughter, because the only other option was to scream. Sparks danced in the wind, and for a moment there was warmth. Then the fire caught Zina's sleeve. She didn't move, didn't even feel it, just stared into the storm. Farther up, others tried to crawl back toward the tent, maybe to help, maybe just to end it near home. But the snow erased direction, time, thought. Their skin turned the color of the moon. One's hands were burned raw, another's mouth frozen open mid-breath. No footprints lasted more than a minute before the wind claimed them. The mountain was alive with sound. A low, rhythmic hum beneath the chaos, like a heart buried in stone. And above it, faintly, something else, a whistle, metallic, deliberate. No one ever knew if it was wind or something watching them. By dawn, the storm had passed. The slope was calm again. White, perfect. No footprints, no fire. Just a tent half buried in snow, its opening slit wide, pointing toward nothing. When the sun rose over the Dyatlov Pass, 9 stories had already ended. And whatever happened between the first scream and the final silence, the mountain kept it. Days passed before anyone realized they were gone. Families waited by silent telegraphs, hoping for a message that never came. When rescue teams finally reached the mountain, they found only wind, endless, whispering wind. Then the tent, half buried in snow, its fabric shredded, frozen stiff. Inside lay their boots, their coats, their food, untouched, as if time had stopped mid-breath. Footprints led away in a single file, perfectly straight, then vanished into white. Down the slope beneath a cedar, 2 bodies were found, barefoot, lying beside a faint circle of burned wood. Their hands were charred, their eyes open, still facing the fire that never kept them warm. Farther on, 3 more sprawled as if crawling home, snow covering their faces like sheets. Weeks later, when the last 4 were found beneath meters of snow, the mountain grew silent again. Broken ribs, crushed skulls, one missing her tongue. No signs of struggle, no tracks but theirs. The investigators stood in the cold, speechless. Notes were written, reports stamped, but none of it made sense. How could fear drive people to flee into death itself? Only the wind seemed to answer, moving gently through the trees. A soft voice repeating the same question that still echoes today. What happened that night on the Dyatlov Pass? The snow has long buried their footprints, yet the mountain remembers. Every gust of wind still hums with their voices, laughter turned to echoes, courage turned to silence. The rescuers left, the reports were filed, but the story never ended. It became a mirror, one that reflects not the mountain but us. We try to explain what happened that night. Some say an avalanche, some secret weapons, others whisper about lights in the sky. But none of those answers feel human enough, because fear doesn't always come from what we see. It comes from what we can't explain. In their journals, they spoke of friendship, music, and trust. 9 souls who believed the world was theirs to climb. They faced storms, hunger, exhaustion, and still smiled for the camera. They were not chasing death. They were chasing life, and somewhere along that path, the unknown answered first. Standing there now, the forest is calm. A small plaque bears their names, rusted by snow and time. Tourists take photos, whisper prayers, and walk away, but the silence lingers deeper than before. The cold air feels heavier, as if carrying unfinished words. Maybe the mountain never meant to kill them. Maybe it only revealed how fragile we are, how quickly warmth becomes memory, how thin the line is between courage and fear. Perhaps the real mystery is not what took their lives, but what keeps us coming back to ask why. Because in every frozen valley, in every unanswered question, there is a reflection of our own limits, of a species that keeps reaching into the dark, hoping that this time the dark will reach back gently. And so, the Dyatlov Pass remains what it has always been, a place where silence speaks louder than truth, and where the wind still whispers 9 forgotten names to anyone who dares to listen.